Hello and welcome to the Face of Pro-Life. Today I'm speaking with Gabrielle Velasquez, who is an independent filmmaker. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You have a real treat for us. I know we're going to be able to see your film in a few minutes, but let's set the audience up with your film. Why did you make this, and how did you come about the subject, and how did you come about making it?
I really heard about it from my mother. She had seen a show with a leader of this Goodness Reigns film contest. She was on EWTN urging people to submit their videos on 4 different topics, and my mother was like, this is really interesting, you should do it, because she knows I'm into the kind of filmmaking, photography.
Well, you interned here at the studio, so you had the
so it was
access
like
to
the
the
perfect
equipment.
opportunity to have these professional cameras, lights, sound, everything. And I need to fill hours anyway, so I'm like, okay, I'll do it. But as soon as the deadline kept coming closer and closer, I'm like, yes, I'll do it. And school got in the way.
Oh, no.
And stuff like that. But I decided to do it like the week before the deadline. I got it done, but it was, I'm amazed it came out the way it did, because we were really cutting it close.
So Goodness Reigns is, what organization is that?
I'm not really sure, but my mother saw the show on EWTN, and she just, I'm not really sure.
Well, I mean, they're the ones who put on some contest, and they're having people from all over the country,
all over the world too. Yeah,
they're sending in videos. And what's the whole? What are they going to be basing their decisions on and everything?
There are several categories. One is the missionary spirit. Others is they could have done a video on the life of a saint, the sacraments. I chose the missionary spirit category.
Oh, great. So is this a specifically Catholic thing, or just?
Yes, it's Catholic, okay. And there are several prizes. Like one of the winner gets to go to World Youth Day or get a certain like $2,000 worth of video equipment to continue their independent filmmaking careers.
So in the World Youth Day, is that in Spain?
Madrid this summer, yes.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So what message did you hope to relay in your film?
I was really excited when I found out there was a missionary spirit category, because when I was 12, I wrote an essay about my sister Christina, who has Down syndrome, and what a blessing she is and what a missionary she is, just by being who she is with her disability, and how she surpasses everyone's expectations just by being Christina.
Right.
And I really touched a lot of people with that essay, so I thought, why not make a video, like extend that essay into a video?
Oh, that's so awesome. That's a great idea, because truly she is a missionary. I mean, we're all missionaries, but she's an extra special
missionary.
Yeah. So we're going to show the audience the film, and we're going to come back afterwards, and we're going to talk about it, because I'm really excited to, I didn't get to see the whole thing, and
I'm just really,
really excited to show everybody the film.
My name is Leticia Velasquez, and I'm here at Goodness Reigns to share a message that I've learned in my life that I think would be very important for youth today. When I was 18 years old, I was a good student in a good Catholic school, and I had my life planned before me. I was going to get married at 25, have a number of children, I was going to be a writer, and I was going to have the world at my feet. In our society, we have technology. We have the ability to overcome diseases, to live longer, to communicate in ways we never imagined before. And sometimes this technology gives us a false sense of empowerment. It makes us think that we have overcome nature, and ultimately that we have overcome God's will. And that's the danger. It's just very different for me, because my idea of what I wanted for my life was changed into what God wanted for my life. I found out through a spiritual revelation from God that this child was going to have Down syndrome. I was very shocked. Let me tell you how it happened. I was in Mass one day, about 4 months pregnant, and I heard in my mind's eye a voice saying to me, you're going to have a child with Down syndrome. Then I walked into the communion line, and again I heard what now I know is God's voice in my heart saying, I want you to accept this child as a gift from my hand when you receive me. He had a call for my life.
I think that every person brings an opportunity to love. Every person we encounter is an opportunity to love. like an occasion of virtue, we might say. And the needier the person, the greater the opportunity to love, the greater the virtue is required. And some of the neediest people probably have PhDs and doctorates, because the greatest spiritual need is to know right from wrong, good from evil. But like each person has their unique needs, and to help them in their need is charity. It's an opportunity to love.
He doesn't call you to be a special needs mother because you're perfect and you're perfectly willing and you're perfectly able. He says, stick with me, stay in my sacraments, pray, go to Mass as much as you can, and plenty of confessions, and stay in my word, read my Bible, read my saints, and I will prepare you. But the most important preparation that God has done in my life is simple day-to-day life with Christina. I have to deal with a little girl who very often doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning, has to be coaxed through each stage of preparation, of going to the bathroom and changing and eating her breakfast and putting her backpack on, and can be wonderful, enthusiastic when she comes home from school. So the mornings are a little difficult. The afternoons are fantastic. Sometimes bedtime is a big challenge. She doesn't want to go to sleep. There are challenges inherent in having a special needs child. When she was little, she used to like to run away and throw herself on the ground when she didn't want to do things. Most mothers, when they're confronted with a pregnancy with a child with Down syndrome, are given a list of symptoms. The doctors say, well, they'll have heart problems, and they might have bowel problems, and they're going to get leukemia, and they'll have limited intelligence, and their lifespan will be limited. Well, that scares the poor mother out of her wits. And very often the doctor will conclude the conversation by saying, when do you want to make the appointment, meaning the appointment for the abortion. Now we live in a state, Connecticut, where there is educational inclusion. Christina attends a typical second grade class, and you'll be able to see her learning to read with her special education teacher. For about 5 hours of the day, she's in with other students, typical students in second grade, and about 1 hour a day she gets pulled out for some extra attention, whether it's physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, or a little extra help with reading, because she is delayed behind her classmates, but she is learning to read, she's learning to add, she's learning all the things that typical kids learn in school, learning to write her name, just a little bit slower pace.
Yay, good girl. That's my girl. Very good, nice job.
There is something deeper than our English language, deeper. It's called the language of the soul, and Christina certainly speaks that. So this gift of communication that she has, I have tried to share now many ways, through the blogs, through articles that I've written for many different magazines. But I'm also trying to share it now through the media, because I believe that this is a very personal way of opening hearts and minds towards the truth of God. And my daughter Gabrielle and I are collaborating on this video so that we can share our joy of living with Christina with you, so that if there's someone you know who's expecting a child with Down syndrome, you can show it to them. We have 31 friends that have shared their stories in a collection called The Special Mother is Born, about how their child with special needs has been God's gift to their family. It's about winning hearts and minds. And the reason I say Christina is a missionary is that I can talk all I want and tell you scientific statistics, but nothing speaks louder than the beauty of a little girl, and the joy in her eyes, and the joy that she has in life, and the love that she gives and love that she brings. I personally believe, and I have many people who accompany me in this belief, that people with Down syndrome have an extra dose of love. They have an extra ability to reach people's hearts, because they don't have the self-consciousness of, well, what are they thinking of me? Am I being judged? They just love. And they reach out to people that you or I might be afraid to reach out to. And they bring God's love in a way that you and I, maybe we should be bringing God's love, but we have hang-ups, we have fears, we have self-doubt. Well, these little children, they have no self-doubt. They just reach out and they go, and sometimes they hug too much, and sometimes you have to warn them about strangers. But I do believe that there's a gift of love within children and adults with Down syndrome that the world desperately needs. We may all have Blackberries and iPhones and be communicating and texting one another 24 hours a day, but people are feeling increasingly isolated from one another. It's a crisis of lack of personal warmth and personal connection. And people with Down syndrome, that's their strong point. So I believe the world needs people with Down syndrome more than ever. And I hope to demonstrate in this movie that the missionary that is most effective is the missionary that lives God's love in their very lives.
That was awesome.
Well,
You've obviously learned a lot here at your internship.
Yeah.
You did a really, really good job. It was really nicely done. How old were you when your sister was born?
I was 8. I was 8 years old when she was born.
And when she was born, did you have any idea, any sense that she was different? I mean, how it was going to change your life?
Physically, she does look different. So I knew something was up, but my mother never didn't tell me until like a few months. She was about 4 months old, and she told me, and I was just really upset because I know that children with disabilities and Down syndrome especially get picked on because of their physical appearance, or they're slower than most kids. So I was just upset that people were going to make fun of her, and she's my sister. How can anyone do that? I love her.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure people know that she may have Down syndrome, but it doesn't affect who she is. It slows her down, but she's still my sister.
If you think about it, I mean, have you ever thought about it? If your mother was different, if your parents were different, how would your life be different had they chosen, like the majority of people with babies with Down syndrome, if they had aborted her?
Yes, 90% abortion rate for Down syndrome children. I thank my parents for being so pro-life and raising me to be pro-life and choosing life. Even though people, doctors, people, everyone says, oh, she's going to change her life for the worst. Oh, no, she's been a blessing. Nothing has, she's very special to us.
But it changed your life, but she's changed your life in a positive way.
Yeah.
And that's what your message is to other people facing the prenatal diagnosis.
Yeah, like we said in the, like my mother said in the video, she surpasses anyone's expectations, the doctors, families. Just ask anyone who has a child with Down syndrome and they'll tell you they've been a blessing. They've been nothing like anyone's told them.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can understand how people might be frightened because, like you said, the doctors kind of set them up, and you don't really see as many Down syndrome babies as you used to when I was a kid. And like you say, it's because 90-some% of the babies are aborted. Yeah, so I know you guys have done gone to heroic lengths to try to promote people keeping their babies with Down syndrome. In fact, your mother co-started a group called Kids Keeping Infants with Down syndrome. Yes. And how has that affected your life? I mean, I know you're very active.
I've been going to March for Life since I can remember, and my mom started that group a few years ago, and we just we let people know before the march to meet us at a place, so all the families who support people with Down syndrome or have children with Down syndrome in their families can meet up, and you can all work together as like a support group, or like showing that people with Down syndrome we need to be aware that 90% of them are aborted.
Wow.
It's so sad. Scary. And there are not many groups out there that support Down syndrome. Yeah. So we just, a little voice, but we're growing each year, which is helpful.
That's great, though. It's a great visual, and I'm sure it helps the families to get together and everything, and especially the kids, too.
It's a support group. And actually this year I brought a video camera down to Washington, so I'm working on another short video on Kids Foundation.
Oh, I hope you'll bring it to us. Now, with this video, you've submitted it for this contest. When was the deadline?
Deadline was January 15th.
Wow,
and yeah, I did it in a week, so I'm happy with what came out of that short time I had to do it. But the first round of judging is finished April 1st, and right now there's a judging portion called People's Choice, where you can go online and vote for this. I believe there's 49 videos on the Goodness Reigns website, and the voting's open.
How can we vote for
you? You can go to the Goodness Reigns website, and you go to submissions page, and the title of my documentary is An Extra Special Missionary, and you just click the vote button underneath the video.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
so-
able to watch it on it too.
And okay, the website is again
Goodness Reigns,
REIGNS.
Yep, filmcontest.com.
Okay, Okay, so Goodness Reigns filmcontest.com.
Yes.
And there's 49 videos, and yours is an extra special missionary.
And it's alphabetized, so it's up at the top.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't plan that, but it works out well.
That's great. So if anybody wants to vote for you, then we can go online and do that.
Yep.
Now, are there two categories? Is there like the public's choice, or the people's choice, and the judge's choice? Is
Yes,
that
the judge's portion closes April 1st, so we'll know who won that by April 1st. But the people's choice voting closes May 1st, so you have.
But we can go now too.
Yes, of
Okay.
course. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you came to show us this. And are you able to, or do you have to exclude? Obviously, you can show it anywhere else. Do you have it posted on YouTube?
Yeah, I believe it's on YouTube. Yeah, because when you look at the Goodness Reigns website, it has a little YouTube logo in the corner, so I believe it's on YouTube.
So,
but if it's not, I will definitely get up there soon.
Now, this is obviously new technology, and people. I mean, you see all sorts of films on YouTube. Do you encourage other teenagers to go out and make pro-life videos?
Definitely. I mean, it's kind of long because sometimes you can lose people's interest. So if you want to get involved in this filmmaking thing, you can keep your videos short and like to the point, so you can get your message out there, whatever it may be. And we need to encourage young people to do this because we know what other young people want to hear, and we're the future. So we have to get what we want out there.
That's great.
Yeah.
And also, like, a lot of times when you're talking about controversial subjects, you might get tongue-tied, or you might not know exactly what to say when you're in the heat of the moment. But if you have time to sit down and actually write out a script and know exactly what you're going to say, it makes a big difference. And I know a lot of people, a lot of kids have gone on and have done really good jobs in promoting life.
Yeah. Like a lot of times people have good ideas, but they don't want to get in front of the camera like myself. So you can get other people. There are people who love being on camera. Just find someone who has the same views as you, and if you want to get your message, plan it out, and definitely get your videos, your voices out there. It doesn't take that much.
I know. And a lot of times when some of them can go viral. Like
just like that.
Just like that. Exactly. So you said you're going to produce a new film from the March for Life on kids. Do you have other plans in the meantime?
Well, for my internship, I have a lot of hours to fulfill, so I'm looking into other film contests, short videos, like mini documentaries. I really enjoyed it, more than I thought I would. So, yeah,
and so
definitely more.
Would you recommend people taking internships at the local cable companies?
If you can, I definitely would, because using their cameras and their light and their just learning how it works has really helped me. Like, you can do this with your own video camera, but it really helps if you can use professional cameras, and it's a more professional job.
I mean, you could tell just from your video how well it was done. I mean, go to YouTube and watch some of those videos, and see how well your film was. It seems like you used a lot of different techniques, and everything was super clear, and the voices were really clear, and so you did it. You must have learned a lot.
I still don't know everything, but I know a lot more than I did, and I'm blessed to have the use of these cameras.
And
it's really helpful.
There's a lot of, everybody has a cable company near them, and there's
definitely
a lot of
look into that. Yeah, I didn't even know about this until I saw it on local cable. They advertised it, so I was like, oh, it's interesting.
So what other types of activities have you been involved in as youth, and what can other teenagers do to promote life?
Well, I went to Catholic high school for 2 years, and right now I'm in my senior year and I'm homeschooled, so it's a little more difficult for me, but you could start a pro-life club at your high school or even your college, which is a good idea, because right now I go to community college. But definitely you could start clubs. If you have a youth group at church, you could get a bus, go down the March for Life. Just get more people to know about this big crisis we have, especially and how children with disabilities are targeted.
Right.
Especially.
And if that would have if we were to say we were targeting anybody else, it would be total, a Holocaust.
I know.
It's total.
Because people overlook this huge, it's such a big deal, and just people shouldn't be overlooking it like they are.
I know. So why would you recommend going down to the March for Life?
Well, a few years ago, we brought friends that were in my mother's CCD class, and they were pro-life, but they didn't really know why, and they weren't on fire about it. So we brought them down, and it totally changed them. They were just, when they came back, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to start this club at my school. Oh, I can't wait to tell other people how horrible this is and what lies they've been telling us." And these safe sex, they keep telling everybody in their health classes or whatever, they're telling them the wrong thing. And so I was like, oh wow. More people, it's bring people next year. It's we need to get this out.
Why do you think they were changed? What about the March for Life?
I think they're overwhelmed by the crowds and how many people came to this one area for the one day marching. It was short. It was very cold, but it usually is. But they're just oh, this is a big deal if this many people will come down from all over the country just for this one cause, this one day. It's it must mean something to them.
Yeah, it is overwhelming when you
really
go down
is.
and
So
see
the
how many
first
people
time,
are there. I know.
I love bringing people the first time, just seeing their reactions. I'm oh my goodness, this is ridiculous, but it's really amazing.
I took my son when he was 19 months old, and then the year after, but then he didn't go for many years, and I can still picture us walking from the Capitol and him, smart aleck, I think he was probably 11. He's like, "Oh yeah, there'd probably be about 10 people there."
Yeah.
And he kept saying that same thing. He gets up there and he's just you just dead silence.
It's 200,000 people now. It's really amazing.
And the amazing thing is how many young people there are.
Yeah, there's so many more young people. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, it's just the older people who, were there when it started." And it's no, it's the majority of young people.
Yeah. Well, even the magazines try to lie and say that they shortened the route because the old people couldn't walk
make it all the way. Yeah, I remember when it was really long, and they've shortened it quite a bit. It's 2 blocks now.
I'd rather it be from the Washington Monument
all across
it used
the mall,
to be. Yeah, that was really neat. I know that it's a difference too because the first time I went, it was a lot more somber. And I think originally in the old days, the March for Life was a somber thing. It was almost like a funeral march.
Yeah.
Everybody was quiet, silent. Now with the kids, it's awesome.
Everyone's
because
on fire
cheering,
and excited to be
and
there.
they're so happy, and they're just beautiful people. It's just, if you ever want to surround yourself for the day with happy, beautiful people, that's the thing to do. It's definitely worth the trip.
Yeah, no one's forced to be there. They all want to be there because they have this deep feeling that this cause is worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And I brought my camera down this year, and it was amazing. I just filmed all the crowds and how many people were there. It's just a sea of people for miles and miles. Whenever I put the camera in front of a group, they'd all be start screaming and be like, "Yeah, we're pro-life." They'd all have their chants and everything. It's really
I would
awesome.
love to get one of the shots from the helicopters that fly
Oh,
over.
yeah.
They never
No one
film
does
it.
that.
No. But because that would be
Everyone
so
would be
awesome.
pro-life if they showed that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Or the people that are up on the Fox News, way up on top of the building, they could probably get a good aerial.
Yeah.
So you mentioned starting a pro-life club, and I know there's lots of activities. I know at your old school they used to sponsor billboards, pro-life billboards, and that's just one thing. People have showers for baby showers so that they can raise funds and just different things for crisis pregnancy centers and everything. And I know you mentioned the colleges. I know Yale, UConn, Quinnipiac. They all have very, very good pro-life groups there. The kids are really on fire. So it's really not unheard of,
It's really not.
And it's really it's good to be a part of a group like that. And what kind of other things did you guys discuss in your old pro-life group?
Well, we had an annual conference where we would have speakers come and speak on different issues, purity, chastity. Even they had someone from Rachel's Vineyard come and give a talk about how even though if you've had an abortion, you can be forgiven. Your life isn't over. You can repent.
That's so important.
Yeah, And there is healing for you. Like, we don't hate you because you had an abortion. We want to help you. And that really touched a lot of girls, too. It's like, you make mistakes. You can always fix them.
Yeah, and not just abortion. I mean, we all make mistakes.
Yeah, we're all human.
And I think that's good for young people.
Yeah.
It's good for everybody to know, but it's especially good for young people to understand that, because even though they're young and fairly innocent, you're all going to grow up. We all want to be a part
of something bigger than us and feel like we're making a difference. And if you get a group of your friends and start a club, people will be impressed, and they'll be like asking questions, and you can just educate them, and you'll find some more people signing up. Definitely.
That's a really, really good point. You know, people do want to belong to something, and having their and they grow too, you know, because you learn things from people, and like you said, your friends learned that abortion's a lie, and everything that they've told you about abortion and supposedly safe sex is all a lie. And if you guys can get out the information to each other, you know, teach each other all about it, and then you know, you tell two friends and they tell two friends, or you make a video about it and put it on YouTube. This is like an exciting
There's so many ways to get it out. It's really amazing, and I'm happy. Like, I just recently got into this whole media business, and I really enjoy it. I do, and I'll be making more and more. It's hard work. It is. I'm not gonna lie, but it's very rewarding to see how many lives this video has changed so far.
I think is this video on Facebook already?
Yeah.
It is?
Yes.
I thought I saw the
I
link.
posted it on Facebook. We'd be like, vote for this, watch it, share it. Just,
So that's another thing that our viewers can do if they have a Facebook account.
Yeah, share it. You could. How many friends do you have? Like 300 friends. They share with their friends. It'll spread definitely.
Well, thank you so much, and good luck on the video. It's really beautiful, and I'm really glad you came to share it with us. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you've learned something. Go to Facebook or go to the website to vote for Gabby's video, and we hope when you look in the mirror the next time you realize yours too is the face of pro-life. Please join us next time.